Of a fight for survival. Initially, the people we're talking about today had to flee their jobs in Libya when war broke out in 2011. They made their way to the island of Lampedusa in Italy, but the Italian authorities closed reception camps and gave them a few €100 to make them leave. Now the people, around 300 Africans in fact, from Togo, Ghana and Ivory Coast have ultimately ended up in Hamburg. Arriving there 2 months ago, 80 of them are living in a church where our correspondents found them determined to stay in Germany.
They spent their first few weeks wandering the streets of Hamburg until they found refuge in this church. The men are from Ghana, Togo and the Ivory Coast. They were all working in Libya and fled the war there at the start of 2011. Their first stop was Italy, but after a few months they were asked to leave and were given a temporary residence permit and a handful of euros.
I was in Milano. I was given money, which is 400 euros, to leave the program because the program is, finished. So I think 400 euros cannot, survive me. 400 euros cannot rent a room or do something for me. So I just decided to travel with her.
Roughly 300 refugees did the same, arriving in Hamburg 2 months ago. Since then, charities and NGOs have come to their aid. This church has been turned into a reception centre for them. They can sleep here, shower and get a new set of clothes. But the law is not on their side. According to the Schengen Agreement, it's up to Italy to take care of them. With this document they were given, they're allowed to travel within the European Union, but not allowed to work or find somewhere to live. This pastor opened up his church for them, partly in protest at the inertia of the German authorities.
Turning a blind eye to what's going on is no way to deal with this problem. What I've come to realise is at the moment there's a complete absence of politicians. It's like with those little monkeys. They're closing their eyes, ears and mouths. It's unacceptable.
But the mayor of Hamburg is standing firm. The refugees have no future in Germany, he said last week. Under pressure, the Italian government has since agreed to take the 300 back. But the refugees want to stay in Germany. They fear their situation will only get worse if they go back to Italy, which is why they've set up this tent in the middle of town. They meet here every day to draw attention to their fate.
The state doesn't want to help us. Italy says, well, we don't have the means to help you. Carry on fighting among yourselves. The only thing to do is to stop this hypocrisy. We're talking about a democracy here and human rights, and they don't give a damn. Yet they're the ones who got us in this situation.
Now Hamburg is starting to listen. Last Saturday, up to 500 people showed their solidarity with the refugees, amongst them members of the opposition parties. They want a 6-month moratorium on the issue of what to do with the refugees, and they want a change in the law.
Refugees are allowed to go wherever they want in Europe, but they can only work in Italy. That's a problem because Italy can't take responsibility for them at the moment. If they were allowed to look for a job here, their situation would change completely. In short, the German government and the European institutions must deal with the situation.
Time is of the essence. If the city of Hamburg follows the letter of the law, the refugees only have a few more weeks until they're sent back to Italy.